What if I told you the answer was staring us in the face since season 1? 10 seasons. 1,000,000 clues. And yet most fans missed the one theory that explains everything. Reddington isn't who you think. He's Katarina Rostova. It sounds impossible, right? How could Katarina, Liz's mother, become the most feared criminal in the world? But the signs have always been there. In his scars, in his silences, in the way he looks at Elizabeth Keene, not as an outsider, but as something far more personal. And when you connect the dots, a shocking picture emerges. The man we've followed for years may not be a man at all. This isn't just a theory. This is a revelation. And in the next few minutes, we'll break down 10 undeniable clues that prove it. So, buckle up. You're about to see the Blacklist in a way you never have before. Before we dive into the clues, let's set the stage. From the moment Raymond Reddington surrendered to the FBI, fans were hooked on one burning question. Who is he really? On paper, he's a former Navy intelligence officer turned criminal mastermind. But cracks in that story started showing early on. The suitcase of bones revealed in later seasons. The DNA test proving the man we're watching isn't the real Raymond Reddington. So if he's not Red, who is he? This is where the Red Arena theory comes in. The idea is simple, yet mind-blowing. Katarina Rostova, a world-class spy and Liz's mother, didn't die. She disappeared by assuming Reddington's identity through extensive reconstructive surgery. Why? To protect her daughter from enemies who would stop at nothing to destroy her family. Think about it. Reddington's deep knowledge of Katarina's past, his emotional attachment to Liz, his constant dodging whenever anyone asks who he really is. To some fans, it's genius. A perfect way to keep Liz safe and explain the mystery that's haunted us for a decade. To others, it's ridiculous, too complex, too far-fetched for even the Blacklist. But here's the thing. The writers never confirmed or denied it. And maybe that's because the truth was hidden in plain sight. In this video, we're breaking down 10 clues that make the Red Arena theory impossible to ignore. Clue 1. The burn scars. Proof. Hidden in plain sight. Let's start with the one detail fans kept seeing but never questioned enough. Reddington's burn scars. From his first shirtless scene in season 1, we see the marks crisscrossing his back. Scars that tell a story. But what story? When characters ask about them, Red deflects, sometimes with humor, other times with silence. In season 3, he tells Liz, "We all carry our scars, some visible, some not." But the Blacklist never provides a definitive backstory for these scars, not once. That's strange for a show so obsessed with detail. So what if these scars don't belong to the real Reddington? What if they belong to someone else entirely? Katarina Rostova? We know from flashbacks that Katarina was involved in a catastrophic fire while escaping her enemies. A fire that supposedly consumed her life. But think about this. What if she survived? What if she crawled from those flames, barely alive, her body burned beyond recognition? Survival alone wouldn't be enough. The KGB and the Cabal would still hunt her. Her only option? Disappear completely. Not as herself, but as someone else. Someone like Raymond Reddington. In online forums, fans have speculated, why does the show never explain his scars? Why introduce them at all unless they're significant? The simplest answer is often the right one. These aren't Red's scars, they're Katarina's. A permanent reminder of the price she paid to protect her daughter. Clue 2. Red's fluency in Russian and intimate knowledge of Katarina. Next, let's talk about language. Reddington doesn't just speak Russian. He feels Russian. His fluency isn't mechanical or learned. It's lived. It's emotional. He slips into Russian during moments of high stress, a subconscious act. He comforts Liz in Russian. He sings her a lullaby only her mother would know. In season 4, episode 17, Red tells Liz, "Your mother sang this to you when you were a baby. I remember how she cried holding you." Stop. How could he know this? This isn't the memory of a spy who read a dossier. This is the memory of a mother who lived it. Red doesn't just know Katarina's past. He knows her emotions. He recalls details about her friendships, her betrayals, her regrets. When he talks about Katarina, it's with pain, regret, almost like he's grieving himself. And there's this line from season 5. People spend their entire lives trying to outrun their mistakes. I've learned to live with mine. What mistake was Katarina trying to outrun? Becoming Reddington. Why this matters. If Red is Katarina, it explains his effortless Russian, his encyclopedic knowledge of her life, his near breakdown when discussing her with Liz. This isn't a man studying a woman. It's a woman remembering her own life through a new identity. Clue 3. His reluctance to hurt Liz. A mother's guilt. Reddington is a killer, a manipulator, a man who doesn't hesitate to eliminate threats. But when it comes to Liz, he hesitates. Every time. Liz betrays him. She endangers his plans. She even points a gun at him. And yet, Red spares her. Again and again. In season 6, Liz asks point blank, "Why are you doing this? Why do you care so much about me?" Red's response? "Because you're the only thing in my life that was ever real." This isn't just fatherly care. It's maternal protection, layered with guilt. If Red is Katarina, every lie, every sacrifice, every crime makes sense. It's not about power. It's about penance. Penance for leaving Liz. Penance for failing as a mother. Fans on Reddit still debate this dynamic. Why didn't he ever just tell Liz? Why carry the lie to his grave? Because revealing the truth would have destroyed Liz's sense of self. It wasn't about protecting Red. It was about protecting Liz. From Katarina's ghost. Clue 4. The DNA test and the suitcase of bones. The smoking gun? Few moments in the Blacklist sent shockwaves through fans like the reveal of the suitcase of bones. When Mr. Kaplan uncovered it, she knew the secret could bring Reddington down. The remains? Confirmed by DNA to belong to the real Raymond Reddington. This meant the man we'd followed for years wasn't Red at all. But here's the question. Who is he then? The show gave us hints, but no answer. Then came Liz's secret DNA test. A test that confirmed a biological link between her and the man she called Reddington. At first, fans assumed it meant he was her father. But what if it wasn't paternal? What if it was maternal? Think about it. The DNA test didn't specify father. It simply showed a match. If Katarina became Reddington, this result makes perfect sense. Liz didn't share DNA with her father. She shared it with her mother, disguised as him. Why this is critical. This is the moment where Reddington stops being just a theory. It explains. The suitcase of bones. The DNA test. Why Red was terrified Liz would learn the truth. He wasn't afraid of being outed as an imposter. He was afraid of Liz discovering her mother's ultimate sacrifice. Clue 5. Plastic surgery. The ultimate spy move. Throughout the series, the Blacklist sprinkles references to identity reconstruction. In season 4, Red helps a key witness vanish by sending her to a surgeon who specializes in total facial and vocal transformation. Fans at the time saw it as a clever spy trope. But what if it was more? If Katarina needed to vanish, plastic surgery wasn't just an option. It was her only escape. To disappear from both the KGB and the Cabal, she couldn't remain herself. So she became someone the world already feared, Raymond Reddington. Some fans have pointed out Red's voice is distinct, gravelly, and slightly feminine in tone. Was this intentional by the writers? And what about his mannerisms? The elegant way he moves, his taste in clothing, his obsession with sentimental objects. Subtle hints or coincidences? If Reddington was Katarina, these quirks aren't random. They're traces of the woman beneath the mask. Clue 6. Red's emotional breakdowns. Guilt or grief. Reddington's hardest moments aren't shootouts or betrayals. They're the quiet ones. The moments where he's alone, clutching a photo of Liz. The times he stares into the distance, fighting back tears. In season 6, Dembe finds Red crying in a church. When asked why, Red says, "Because I lost something I can never get back." Fans assumed he meant freedom, or even innocence. But what if he meant himself? What if this was Katarina, mourning her lost identity, her daughter's trust, her old life. Why this clue matters. Reddington's behavior makes sense if he's Katarina. His extreme emotional swings around Liz, his inability to walk away from her, his unspoken fear of being exposed. This isn't just guilt, it's grief. A mother grieving her own life, now trapped in a lie she can't undo. Clue 7. Keepsakes and secrets. The ghosts. He carries Reddington's private life as a museum of memories. In his safe houses and storage units, we see Russian nesting dolls, a music box playing a Russian lullaby, photos of a young Liz and her mother. To most viewers, these are just sentimental tokens. But ask yourself, why would the real Raymond Reddington keep items so tied to Katarina's life? These aren't trophies. They're keepsakes, the kind only Katarina would hold on to. When Dembe once asked Red why he hoards these things, Red replied, "Because they remind me who I was and who I had to become." It's not just nostalgia. It's Katarina's fragmented past, all she has left of herself. Why this matters? This clue suggests Red's connection to Katarina isn't just intellectual or strategic. It's emotional, deeply personal. These keepsakes aren't tools, they're evidence. Clue 8. Refusal to confirm or deny. Silence, as protection. Throughout the Blacklist, Liz confronts Red countless times. "Who are you? What are you hiding from me?" Every time, Red dodges. He changes the subject. He gives cryptic answers like, "The truth would do more harm than good." Why doesn't he just say it? Because if Liz knew her mother became the man she hated most, it would shatter her world. Red's silence isn't cowardice, it's protection. Katarina is sparing Liz from a truth too heavy to bear. Fans are divided on Reddit. One fan wrote, "The writers dragged it out too long, just give us an answer." But another countered, "Maybe the ambiguity is the answer. It's about how Liz felt, not who Red was." And that's the genius of it. Clue 9. Flashback symbolism. A mother's sacrifice. Flashbacks scattered across the series paint Katarina as a tragic figure. A woman torn between duty and family. A mother forced to abandon her child to save her. But what if she didn't abandon Liz? What if she stayed, in disguise? The timeline fits. Katarina disappears. Months later, Reddington emerges. A man no one can fully verify. It's not coincidence. It's succession. Katarina didn't die. She evolved. This clue reframes the entire series. Red isn't just protecting Liz because of guilt or loyalty. He's doing it because he's her mother, carrying the unbearable weight of love disguised as lies. Clue 10. The final scene's symbolism. The truth dies with him. It's a quiet moment. No explosions, no shootouts. Just Raymond Reddington walking alone through a vast field, golden light spilling across the horizon. Birds take flight. The wind whispers through the grass. The camera lingers as he slows and stops. Then it fades to black. No dramatic last words. No shocking revelations. The man we've followed for 10 seasons simply disappears. What does it mean? To some fans, this ending was maddening. After all, we spent a decade chasing answers. But the truth? This was never a story about identity. It was about transformation. Reddington's final walk wasn't just a man facing death. It was Katarina Rostova, the woman who gave up everything, finally allowing herself to stop running. The field represents freedom, peace, something Katarina never had in life. By walking into the light, she sheds her disguise. Not literally, but symbolically. This isn't about her surviving. It's about her finally resting. Think about it. This scene echoes Katarina's death years earlier. Both times she's alone. Both times she walks into the unknown. Both times she sacrifices her identity for someone else. In the finale, the difference is, this time there's no coming back. If Reddington was Katarina, the walk isn't defeat, it's release. The field isn't random. It's a metaphor for Liz's safety, her mission complete. The silence isn't emptiness, It's full of unspoken love. This is Katarina letting go of her pain, her lies, and even her daughter's hatred. She carried the truth for so long it became her prison. Now she's free. On Reddit, one user wrote, "I feel robbed. 10 years and no answers?" But another countered, "The lack of an answer was the answer. Red wasn't a name, he was an idea." This is the Blacklist's greatest gamble, to leave us in the same position as Liz, questioning, hurting, but also growing. This clue ties every thread together. The burn scars, the DNA test, the hesitations, the love. They all point to this one truth. Katarina Rostova became Raymond Reddington. And she took that truth to her grave. It's tragic, it's poetic, and it makes the Blacklist more than a crime drama. It becomes a story about love so consuming, it rewrote a person's very identity. The field wasn't where Reddington died. It's where Katarina finally lived. Free of enemies, free of secrets, free at last. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. See you in the next one.